local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. We always appreciate you joining us. We are live streaming here on this Friday from the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom, as we do every weekday, starting around 1 p.m. I always like to remind everybody, and don't forget to download that Fox 12 Oregon app. We cover a wide range of topics on this show. But today, as you can see right there, we're going to be talking about Salt and Straw, of course, the now world-famous ice cream manufacturer, maker, shop, all based out of Portland, Oregon, where they started in 2011. Now, there's something that is being taken everywhere, and that is a Salt and Straw cookbook. And so that's an interesting concept, right? What does that mean? Well, we wanted to find out more, and so that's why we had Tyler Malek, the co-founder, co-owner of Salt and Straw, come here in studio to talk about it. We did get to taste some ice cream, so I'm sorry you're gonna have to see that part as well. But we do discuss, how they go about doing what they do and why that the creativeness that is in the city of Portland and in this region has such an influence on what they do and really bringing all of this amazing creativity to the world through all the different great people in the community of Portland. So that's influenced how they did what they did. Let's jump right into it. Here's Tyler. Tyler, hello.
I'm so excited.
I am very excited to have you back in here too. I mean, it's been a while since we've talked, and apparently a lot's gone on.
Yes, I wrote a book.
You wrote a book.
Cookbook. I mean, for us, it was all about trying to figure out how do we start writing recipes and immerse people into the test kitchen here in Portland.
Yeah.
And trying to get people to kind of like appreciate how much thought and intention and really like food science and history that goes into every single flavor we write.
Right. It's not just a pint that you're picking up like there is, and I've seen it before. There's a lot that goes into this.
It's so fun.
And a lot of it can come from, you mentioned the science and the different flavors, but also your experiences that you put into this too.
Exactly. And for us, like the most fun way to do this from my perspective was how do we take some of the most iconic ice creams of all time, just like even flavors that you might think are basic, like vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, but talk about like what goes into that, because they're iconic flavors for a very important reason. Vanilla is like one of the most popular flavors of all time in ice cream.
Yeah.
Because vanilla is like one of the most nuanced ingredients we've ever seen on this planet.
Wow. So I see, and that's something that I wouldn't have even thought about. Like I would think of that as like that's just the basic. Oh, it's vanilla.
No, that's why it's so fun. Yeah.
And so this book. So walk us through. What was the thought process behind this? So you've got these iconic ice creams. You mentioned going through that, but how do you decide what goes into something like this?
Well, for us, I almost wanted it to be like you were immersed into it's like a master's degree in like ice cream writing, ice cream testing and tasting. And so really like as you go through it, we talk about vanilla, and we actually I got to work with one of the most renowned vanilla bean geneticists in the country to talk about how the vanilla beans all taste different and how to pick out the very best. And it just became this journey for every single ingredient, for vanilla, for chocolate, for coffee, and talking about how do you go about finding the best of the best.
Yeah.
Because if you can do that, then you can start being really creative. And that's where Salt and Straw kind of comes in. Like we start riffing off of those. We'll teach you how to make the chocolate ice cream at its best. We'll teach you how to make chocolate ice cream at its most fun as well.
So you give kind of a base knowledge, and then okay, now we build on it.
Yeah. Then we kind of go a little wild. Yeah.
We go wild on it.
Don't worry, we've got some pretty unique flavors in here, just as because it's Salt and Straw, and that's where we have fun. There's a fish sauce ice cream in here, for example.
What? Okay. I've tried the ones that you had with crickets and mealworms. So I guess fish sauce, that doesn't sound like that's
No, it's simple. It's delicious.
Yeah. Well, I'll trust you on that.
Okay.
But I mean, looking at this thing and seeing this book out, how does it feel for you? It's like going from where you started. You've got a book out.
Yeah, I mean, we started. It's funny because even as you read through the book, it all goes back to when I first started making ice cream in Portland in 2011. Yeah. I mean, this is there's so much lore in just the Portland food scene in this book. For me, it was one of the most life-changing moments. I remember I was going to culinary school in the morning, and then I'd go to a commissary kitchen and make ice cream in the afternoon and scoop it at night. And this is when we had a little push cart, and Kim and I were running the company together. And in between, I'd always go to Stumptown, which, do you remember the Stumptown Annex? Where
yes.
It's beautiful.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And so they would always do a coffee cupping where they all sit around and they do, the slurps?
Yeah, the slurps.
And it's so pretentious and wonderful. And And so I remember going to culinary school and we made coffee tiramisu, and my pastry chef poured in coffee flavor extract. I was like, this is gonna be coffee flavored. And then I remember going to the annex and learning like, oh, coffee isn't a flavor. Coffee is an ingredient where you can have this infinite scope of flavors coming from it. And that was just this, it broke my perception on what that is. And I don't think even many people coming out of, literally teaching at culinary schools realize, like, if you really dig into an ingredient and just nerd out, you can create so many unique flavors, and it kind of broadens your brain on, your mind on what can be possible in food.
I love it that's the thing that changed that broke your brain, at that point. And then look at the world that's created.
I know, 2,000 flavors later, in a cookbook. So
fish sauce ice cream and,
Exactly. With that said, do you want to try some of these? They're so good.
I would love to try some of these. So for everybody at home, because I know this is going to be the first question they're going to ask, where can they get these?
Yes. Well, we've got these in all of our shops for the entire month of May.
Okay.
All 5 of these flavors are recipes from our cookbook. So this is one of the first times we want people to kind of come in, flip through the book, and actually be able to experience some of them.
Yeah.
And in particular, we're going to start with, I've already waxed poetically about vanilla.
Yes.
This is a vanilla custard ice cream that I am in love with. So first of all, custard means that it's egg yolk based, which we don't do egg yolks very often. It's a French style, kind of an anglaise style. And then we made a homemade butterscotch. And there's 3 different types of vanilla beans in here, and the egg yolks actually hold the flavor of the vanilla beans to your taste buds for even longer. It just like literally glues the vanilla beans into your taste buds. Vanilla is I mentioned this earlier, vanilla is one of the most complicated flavors in the entire world. There's about 220 flavor compounds in vanilla beans alone. And you can taste almost every single one when you bite into this.
This is so good, and there was that science part that you're talking about. That's the nerding out about ice cream right there, about flavors.
Yeah,
exactly. But I get it. Oh my God, that's so good.
You can see why I have so much fun with this. And this is why I'm like, ice cream is one of the most magical things. And this is where, this may be what we consider like a riff off of once you kind of learn the secrets of chocolate. This is a chocolate-based ice cream, but we make homemade Reese's with chili crisp.
Chili crisp?
This is one of my friends, Fly by Jing. She has this chili crisp company. It's one of my favorites in the entire world. We fold it into peanut butter as we're making kind of these homemade peanut butter cups. It's so good. We spent a lot of time picking out this very specific chocolate. Chocolate can grow all around the world, just like a single origin coffee bean. There's such thing as single origin chocolate bean.
So that soil, whatever goes into that, that's...
all makes a big difference. So how you play with that.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
That one's one of my favorites.
One thing that you just brought up there, collaborating with somebody else. That seems to be a lot of, you do that a lot, I feel like.
I love this idea too, like, and this is also the point of the book, like if you know your foundation, the history and the science around this, these specific ingredients, like being able to partner and find really cool people out there in the world and highlighting them in the ice cream, learning from, in this case, Jing, learning how to use this chili crisp, how to kind of lean into the spiciness, but not too much of it. What was the right chili crisp to choose for this? How to blend it with peanut butter.
Yeah.
It becomes a journey that you can kind of like go on, and again, it's like, it's almost like in culinary school, the first thing you learn are your mother sauces. Learn your mother sauces, and then you can be as creative as you want. So that's how we have,
and these are kind of the mother ingredients for ice cream.
Yeah.
Which, vanilla, chocolate, strawberry. I mean.
Okay, this is one of my favorite strawberry ice creams of all time. This is a vanilla tres leches with strawberry marbled in, and then strawberry ice cream. So these are. These are all from actually Washington, these strawberries I love. We get them between Washington and Oregon. And the trick with strawberries is it's really hard to get that flavor to come through in ice cream because they're so delicate, they're so light. And really, there's a couple ingredients that strawberries love. The strawberries love vanilla and they love cinnamon. Okay. And in fact, when you add a little bit of vanilla and cinnamon, it makes the strawberries even taste more strawberry. So it's like a strawberry shortcake. If you add a little bit of cinnamon to your strawberry shortcake, it'll just change your life. And in this case, there's a little bit of vanilla and cinnamon in a tres leches cake with that strawberry jam kind of marbling
I was going to strawberry jam, that.
So bright. It's so fresh.
That is one of the most strawberry ice creams that I think I've ever had.
Yeah, with real strawberries.
I just made up the term. I don't think it's
No, that's good. I like it. And also, the thing is, like, you don't get strawberry ice cream in the industry. Most people use flavor and coloring and all this. So, this is just pure strawberries, and it's a really hard trick to get right. But I'm in love with that ice cream. Okay, this is one of my favorite ice creams of all time because this is a secret recipe from Stephen Smith, who started Steve Smith Tea.
Wow.
And one of the most, famous flavorologists in the history of this country. He started Stash Tea and then Tazo Tea.
Oh, yeah.
Now has, he recently passed away, but I got to meet with him when I first moved to Portland and learn from him about flavor mixing. He invented this flavor originally to be a Frappuccino secretly. He called it Matcha Matcha Man. So it's a really, really rich, it's a ceremonial grade matcha, which is really dark and earthy, but there's a little bit of orange juice in there, and we use tangerine juice, so that orange kind of just brightens everything up and helps you taste so much more in the matcha than you would ever expect.
See, it's funny now listening to you and saying that, like, I can taste those flavors in there.
Yeah. So
I would not say I have a world-class palate, but you walking it through there and understanding it, which is probably something you would do in the book too, is seeing everything that goes into it.
We have fun.
Like,
This was, I love that too because he gifted me that. That was one of the first recipes ever given to me, and he just made me promise that I'd always call it Matcha Matcha Man. So,
that's a solid name.
I know we don't use puns very often at Salt and Straw, but in this case we did. And then I have a fun coffee flavor for you. So we've got a whole chapter on coffee ice creams. This is actually a really, really fun one, actually, where we went with a really light roast coffee. We brew it a couple different ways. Cold brew, we also actually steep it in milk and cream, and then we're adding an apricot swirl. And that apricot, like, it's fun because I love this idea of like talking about how coffee doesn't have to be Jamocha crunch,
Right.
Chocolate and coffee, of course, is an incredible combination, but it's so like, it's also, that's what everyone does.
Everybody does
and
that,
even in our classic menu at Salt and Straw, we also have it, and it's delicious, I promise. But bringing out some of these lighter, more floral qualities, kind of stone fruit qualities in the coffee is really fun.
That's a really interesting combination. I mean, I love it, actually, but that's not something I ever would have thought of.
No.
I'm putting those things together. Because my mind's trying to like wrap it around like, how's that gonna work exactly? But it works.
And the idea, like, again, it kind of goes back to like sitting there and drinking coffee and realizing that, coffee doesn't always have to be dark roast chocolate. You can get coffee flavors, depending on where it's grown and how it's roasted and how it's brewed, you can get more like floral qualities and jasmine and, or berry qualities or stone fruit, and every type of coffee, every bean of coffee will taste different. And you can actually lean into that in the way you treat it in your ice cream.
Well, I mean, you can tell that all the thought that's gone into this and how much you love coming up with these combinations.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
living
the dream.
Yeah.
No, I love it. It's so much fun. I get to do it, and that's what, the book's out now.
Yes.
So I mean, I think this is my question for you. From that story of starting off.
Yeah.
And when your brain got broke and you decided how you wanted to start creating these ice creams and these flavors to now having this book out, what would you say to yourself back then? What piece of advice would you give yourself? Or maybe somebody else out there who's just starting out?
I think for me, there's a sense of wonder and imagination and curiosity that I think we've always instilled in Salt and Straw. And I think, hopefully that this book really captures that.
Yeah.
I love to learn. I love to glob onto people and learn from them and different makers around the city. And if I could go back, I'd just like cheer myself on, saying do more of that.
Keep trying things.
Such cool foods. There's flavor geniuses here in Portland.
Yeah.
And we've got a really magic city because of that. Like there's so much to learn from this city. So.
Yeah. That's great advice right there. So for everybody out there, go learn, go try new things.
Yeah.
Try that place that just opened up on the corner.
Exactly.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. How fun. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
On
Thank
this.
you.
And let's let everybody know where and how they can get it.
Yeah, so we've got books all in our shops. I actually signed a handful in every single shop, so hopefully you can get it.
Nice.
I'm also going all around the city over the next couple of weeks, or really all around the country over the next couple of weeks. So, on Friday night, I'm going to be at Powell's.
Nice.
Also on Saturday, I'm going to be at Powell's in Cedar Hills, and we're doing dinners and kind of all kinds of different activations for the rest of the month.
Nice, and so people can go to one of those and check that out and get to see you, and you have a new location too, like here in town.
Yes, it just opened in Bridgeport Village, so we're so excited. It's been wild. People are coming from all around the neighborhood, so we're so excited. It's our first shop that we've opened in Portland in many, many years. So we're kind of excited to kind of keep growing in the city.
Nice, another opportunity, and back where it started, and all over the country as well.
Yeah,
Well,
thank you.
Tyler. Thank you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
This is awesome.
Cool.
All right, so there we go, Tyler Malek, the cookbook right there. And thanks everybody for joining us here on Fox 12. Now we live stream here out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom, and so that's what you see behind me. And I do want to say too, if anybody out there has an idea for a segment, feel free to send me an email, Fox12now, that's Fox12now at kptv.com, and we'll see what we can do. Sometimes that'll work out, sometimes it won't, but we can definitely have a conversation about it, just to be completely honest with you. So feel free to send me that email. And thank you again. I say it a lot, but for joining us, we have lots more coming up here today. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here shortly. Thanks again to Tyler and Salt and Straw, and we'll talk to you soon. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.